Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
All right, welcome back to Big Country Politics. We are continuing our conversation with Dr. Paul Fabrizio, political science professor over at McMurray University. I want to talk about, and before I ask the big question, the response to the coronavirus from this administration, can you think back in another administration who has dealt with something similar?
In terms of a health crisis like this,
Yeah,
you think of the Ebola situation that took place here in Dallas in 2014 or 2015 as a possibility. The SARS epidemic, again, going back 2002, so George W. Bush did that. But if this becomes what the CDC says it could become, we're in uncharted territory. You have to go back to the administration of Woodrow Wilson, and he didn't have the resources, the technology that we have, so it's a whole different situation. So basically, we could be in just uncharted territory here.
Because this started out as something we're watching from afar.
Yes.
Right? And now it's getting closer and closer at home, so much so that if you go to Walgreens, you go to Walmart, and you try to find those masks, you're not going to find them.
Right.
The only thing I can think of is maybe Harbor Freight. You can go over there and maybe find the construction ones. I don't know. I hadn't looked. But so now that we are not in the thick of it now, but we're
preparing.
We're preparing.
In essence, we're preparing mentally, at least.
Okay. So what does the nation expect from this administration?
I think the first thing that the nation would expect is clarity on what is happening. And this past week, the Trump administration was a little rough on that. President Trump from India tweeted that basically everything's okay. His press conference on Wednesday raised the urgency level a little bit, but basically the message was, it's okay, we'll have it controlled. The Centers for Disease Control, operating in a different mindset, said, we're going to do things out of an abundance of caution. And they said we need to be prepared for what could be a pandemic. And we need to think about school closings and businesses closings and people staying away from each other. And so there was two different messages. The president on Wednesday night at his press conference tried to bring everything together, but that's difficult to do when he is trying to calm everything down, and the CDC, in terms of what they have to do to get everybody ready, has to elevate concern. So that's difficult to do. So the administration is really going to have to work to get one message, one consistent message, that is consistent with the truth as it goes forward.
Well, and not only that, I think it maybe even goes lower than that, because like cities, counties are going to be having their own responses. School districts are responding now, and then people start hearing that. Isn't it the job of the president not only to acknowledge the importance, well, let's say the importance of this and the importance to keeping an eye on it, but also to keep people calm from all this other stuff happening when the masks are gone, when the school district is responding, when the cities, counties are responding, and the CDC.
Yes, and that's what the president has tried to do pretty consistently, is calm everybody down, calm everybody down. Looking at the stock market this last week, he hasn't been very successful at that. But the president needs to be realistic in his explanations of what's taking place. And he needs to be honest in what's taking place in terms of, is this a crisis, yes or no, and then here's what we're going to do about it. And he took a step forward by appointing Mike Pence as the chief spokesperson for it. And Mike Pence is considered to be, especially by people who study the administration, as someone who understands bureaucratic power. And so he would have the ability to reach out and say, okay, CDC, Health and Human Services, let's get our act together and let's go forward with this plan like this. And Mike Pence is considered to be, I think, an honest broker. He'll tell us what is out there. As a former governor, he's had to deal with these things in the past. I think he's learned from his experiences as a governor. So I think they're trying to give us a level of confidence in what they're going to say.
So basically, we have to sit back and watch.
Yes.
And see what happens.
And use good hand hygiene, and
just like flu season.
Just like flu season.
Okay. So we have a couple of minutes. I want to talk to you about your radio show. Tell people about your radio show, because I got a couple of questions on that. When is it on?
It's on 4 to 5 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday.
The Professors?
KWKC 1340. And so we are talking about politics most days. On Wednesdays, we talk about science. So we have spent a lot of time talking about the coronavirus. We talked about
Is this every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday,
do science?
Every Wednesday we do science. I have another professor from McMurray University, Dr. Joel Brandt, and we talk about science. And so he's a biologist. We talked about the coronavirus, I think, 3 times in the last 5 weeks or so.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
So it's really important, I think, that we talk about these things.
We don't really get to hear it because we're in the thick of things at 4 and 5.
Yeah.
You guys take callers?
We take callers. We also invite policymakers. We invite candidates in. So we've had all the sheriff's candidates here in Taylor County, the county commissioners' candidates for both races. We've had them on the show as well.
Very interesting. All right, so tune in to the Professors 4 to 5 on weekdays.
Yes.
KWKC
1340 AM.
1340, and on Wednesdays they do science. That's interesting. I'm tuning in on Wednesday. I'm going to have it on at my desk.
Okay. Now, I got to tell you, on this coming Wednesday, we're going to talk the election.
Okay.
We're going to talk,
of course, obviously.
Yeah, we're going to talk political science rather than science.
All right. And then you'll be here with us on election night.
Oh, yes, we will. Looking forward to it.
Dr. Paul Fabrizio, McMurray
Thank
University.
you very much.
Over at the Political Science Professor.
Yes, thank you so much.
We will be back on Big Country Politics.